Good afternoon, everybody. Sam Romeo here, Environmental Educator. And this week I am talking about allergies and who to blame. And it is not this beautiful yellow flower behind me. So here we have that yellow plant I was talking about, goldenrod. All right, here's a nice tall goldenrod plant. You can see our fields are just absolutely gorgeous right now. Nice and bright yellow. So the reason I want to talk about this is because people think that goldenrod is what makes everyone sneeze right now. All right, it's September, October. Everyone's seasonal allergies are bad. I know mine are, especially right now. But people like to blame this plant. But that's actually not true, okay? And there's one main reason I'm going to talk about why it's not this plant, but it's another plant, ragweed, okay? Now, first of all, one ID trick for this is that it has one single leaf off of the stem. So you can see it's nice and tall, kind of shooting off. Sometimes you might get multiple flower heads like this one, okay? But it is a long, single stem, single leaf, okay? And this is actually pollinated by insects. It has a sticky, resinous pollen that is great for honeybees. All right, now ragweed is the other plant. And now let's go find some of that. Okay, so here I found some ragweed. It wasn't very hard to find, but you could tell it doesn't really have that bright yellow. Flower head, it kind of has like this limeish green, brownish kind of color. But of course, before goldenrod blooms, it's a little hard to tell the difference between the two. This is when knowing how to identify plants and multiple stems versus the leaves can come in handy. So this is kind of one single plant here. You can see the main stem. Actually, I pulled one out from the ground, so we can see here multiple stems coming off of one large stem. Okay. While as here we have some goldenrod. You see all this goldenrod? It's all one single stem coming all the way up to the flower head. While there could be multiple flower heads, there's one single stem, okay? Now, let's go ahead and look at the leaves. The leaves are lobed and kind of have these dissected margins. Almost look like a fern, you could say. All right, and remember, goldenrod has that one single leaf that kind of has these little bit of tooth margins on them. Now there's multiple different kind of goldenrods, but essentially a lot of the major ones you will see will have this single stem, multiple flower heads, okay? Now remember what I said. This is a resinous pollen that is pollinated by insects, so a bumblebee will fly onto it, collect all the pollen, fly to another plant, and pollinate. Now the pollen's going back and forth. But with ragweed, it is pollinated by wind, okay? So that is why it is affecting us so much when it comes to allergy seasons, okay? Because that pollen, whenever it gets windy, is being blown all over the place on top of your cars, into your house, and being circulated by your air conditioning units when you go outside. That is how it is affecting us, and that is why it is the problem when it comes to allergies, okay? And not goldenrod, okay? Goldenrod is a great native plant that is great for pollinators, or ragweed, considered a weed, but that is the main cause of our allergy season, okay? So when you're out there looking for the difference in these plants, just remember goldenrod has a single stem, while, the ragweed has multiple with those kind of fern-like leaves, okay? Well, I hope you guys learned something, and I want to thank you all for watching. And remember, before you pull out any plants in your yard, try to find a good resource, a good wildflower guide. There are plenty of them out there. You can even do a quick Google search to tell the difference between goldenrod, ragweed, and other plants. And just remember the simple leaves versus the multiple stem and leaves. And then you can keep those nice plants out there for your late season pollinators, and you can spend more time outside without worrying about sneezing in your garden like me. But thank you all, and have a great week.